And before we get started, Sharif, can you just briefly introduce yourself to the listener, kind of tell them like, what how you got to where you are, why you do what you do, and then we can get started.
Totally. I've been a designer for a long time, and the past few years, I've been building an agency and traveling the world and trying to balance the remote thing even before the pandemic. And my background is somewhat interesting. I grew up in Hawaii, and I went to a really artsy school, and one of the things that they believed in was no technology, which was interesting. And I had dyslexia, and so I struggled actually with learning. And one of the things that really kind of unlocked my curiosity and my passion for creativity was I ended up finding a computer in like a library in like another school. And I started playing sort of games, and I started learning typing and different things. And through that, I was able to learn in that environment sort of through self learning far more better than sort of a school environment. And ever since then, I've really deeply sort of understood this way in which technology is a fundamentally way to unlock people's potential and connect ideas that are seemingly disconnected, especially given so much of our knowledge and experience and our biases in our culture has been location sort of locked. And obviously the internet, but even just computers in general was a way of connecting nodes, and then seemingly geographically distant nodes. And so just the way in which I was able to learn and the passion that gave ever since I've sort of been on this sort of journey of learning about technology, building technology and growing, starting off kind of in marketing, but then eventually sort of landing in visual design, storytelling, and filmmaking as well. And then finally, just a lot of what makes technology great, which is like UX and product design.
Yeah, that's such an awesome story, and it sounds very similar to mine. Like I loved filmmaking in high school, loved the craft of making something that resonates with people, and
Yeah.
then I recently did a personal offsite where I just did a forced solitude trip and listened to a bunch of books. I revisited one of my favorite books, Start with Why, and then I
Mhm.
read Find Your Why, which is like the workshops to kind of help you discover like what your why is. And for me, like my why is when I interact with people, like my interaction with them indirectly or directly resonates with them, right? Because I want to make people feel like their needs are being met. And I think what better way to meet someone's needs at scale than designing a product that actually fulfills their jobs to be done, makes their work, their experience of doing a task easier or more, or making it more accessible by cheapening the cost to produce it or service it. Totally agree.